All right, today we're diving into something that's, well, it's a huge hidden scandal, and it's happening right at the heart of science and medicine. We're talking about missing information. And believe me, this is a story that affects pretty much all of us. So, let me start by asking you a question. Just think about it for a second. What if the medicine you take, the one your doctor prescribed, the stuff you and your family rely on, what if it was approved based on only half the evidence? It's a pretty serious question, right? And honestly, the answer is, well, it's pretty unsettling. Because this number, 50%, that's not a hypothetical. That's the shocking reality. A huge systematic review found that about half of all clinical trials ever conducted have just disappeared, vanished. Their results were never published, they were never shared with the doctors, the regulators, or the patients who need them most. And look, this is so much more than just a data problem. It's a broken promise. Think about it. Millions of people all over the world volunteer for these trials. They take on personal risks, all to help push medicine forward. So when the results of their trial get hidden away in a drawer somewhere, all that effort is wasted. And that trust, it's completely betrayed. So what happens when you have this massive broken promise? You get a global health scandal. And the cost of all this silence, it's absolutely immense. We're not just talking about wasted effort here. I mean, think of the domino effect. When research results go missing, doctors can't make fully informed decisions. They might end up prescribing a drug that's not as effective as they think, or one that has side effects they just don't know the full story on. That puts patients at risk. We lose out on opportunities for new cures. And, of course, public trust in science itself gets worn down. It's a fundamental moral failure. And then, there's the money. The financial cost here is just staggering. Some estimates suggest that 85% of all research investment, we're talking billions upon billions of dollars, is just wasted. And a massive chunk of that waste comes from this one single thing that we could absolutely fix: the failure to publish the findings. Okay, so the big question is, why? Why does this happen? How can so much incredibly valuable research just disappear? Well, there's a name for it, and it's actually pretty simple. It's called the file drawer problem. So what's at the heart of this file drawer problem? It's something called publication bias, and it's a really simple but really powerful human tendency. Come on, we all love a good story, right? A big breakthrough, a positive result. So research showing a new drug works, that's exciting stuff. But research that shows it doesn't work, or that the results aren't clear, yeah, that's often seen as boring, and it gets tossed aside. And you wouldn't believe the difference this bias makes. It is stark. Get this. Studies with positive results are about twice as likely to get published. Twice as likely. The ones with negative or inconclusive results, they're the ones that end up in that metaphorical file drawer, locked away, hidden from everyone. And what you're left with is a scientific record that's dangerously skewed towards only the good news. Now, it's really tempting to point the finger at the science journals, right? To say they're the ones who only want to publish the exciting, splashy stories. But the evidence, it actually tells a different story. A major review found that the biggest problem isn't journals rejecting these studies. It's that the researchers themselves, maybe feeling discouraged by negative results, often don't even bother to write them up and submit them at all. Okay, so that's the problem, and it's a big one. But this isn't just a story about what's broken. It's also about the people fighting to fix it. And I want to introduce you to a key player in that fight, the All Trials campaign. So this campaign kicked off back in 2013, and their mission, it sounds so simple, but it is absolutely revolutionary. Here it is. All trials registered, all results reported. That's it. Every single one, past and present. No ifs, ands, or buts. No exceptions. And you know what? They have been incredibly successful. Their advocacy has helped force major legislative changes all over the world. We're talking the FDA Amendments Act in the US, a brand new unified information system in the EU, and a new law in the UK that makes it a legal requirement to report results within 12 months. They are literally changing the rules of the game. I love this quote from one of the founders, Celie Lane. It just gets right to the heart of what they accomplished. She said the campaign gave people the courage to keep going. Because that's what they did. They built a movement. They let all the scientists, doctors, and patients who knew this was wrong know that they weren't alone and gave them the courage to keep up the fight. But look, changing the laws is huge, but it's kind of like treating the symptoms, not the disease.
To really fix this whole mess, you have to go deeper. You have to change the scientific process itself, the very system that creates this publication bias to begin with. And this is where a brilliant idea called registered reports comes in. Seriously, this flips the entire publishing model on its head. Here's how it works. Scientists write up their research question and their methods, and they get it peer-reviewed before they even start the experiment. If the question is good and the science is solid, a journal accepts the paper for publication right there on the spot. It doesn't matter what the results are. Publication is guaranteed.
And if you want proof that this thing works, just look at this chart. It's amazing. In traditional science publishing, only about, 15% of published studies have null or negative findings, but with registered reports, that number skyrockets to 60%. It just completely removes the bias against publishing results that aren't exciting. It flat out works. So with these new laws and cool publishing models like registered reports, you'd think, great, problem solved. But the fight for total transparency is definitely not over yet. There are still some huge challenges ahead. I mean, just enforcing the new laws is a massive job in itself. Then there's the giant backlog. We're talking decades of hidden trials that we need to dig up. We still need to change the entire research culture that for so long has only rewarded those exciting results. And maybe the biggest one of all, we have to deal with the fact that most of the medicines we use right now were proved back in this dark age of buried trials. So that really leaves us with one last big question. We have the tools. We have the new laws, the new ways of publishing. We know how to solve this problem. The real question is, what is it going to take for all of us, the scientists, the people who fund the research, the journals, and even the public, to finally actually use them and find science's missing half?